Today I'm going to be using these two ingredients to clean out the AC system in my 2013 Toyota Prius. For the past few months I've been dealing with a pretty extensive rat invasion in my car. I'm about to upload a video where I detail the steps I went through to rat-proof my car, or at least make it a little more difficult for them to access critical components. The problem I've been having is that a rat had set up a nest right where the air comes into the car for the AC system. Even though I got rid of the nest and cleaned up the area and made it so that a rat can't get in there again, my AC system still has a really bad rat urine smell. So I'm hoping this will solve the problem for me today. These are the main things you're going to need to do this procedure. You're also going to need some rags and a plastic catch container to catch the liquids that are going to drip out. The large can is by Frost King, and it's an air conditioner coil foaming cleaner. The smaller can is called Cool It, Lube Guard, Evaporator, and Heater Foam Cleaner. And these two items I bought on Amazon, and I will provide the links below. The hose you see in the picture comes with the Cool It can, but we need it to spray both cans of cleaner into the AC system. Once I am done with this process, I will throw away both cans, but I'm going to hold on to that hose because when I do this process again, I will probably only buy the Frost King can. I won't buy both cans. You will also need some duct tape. The hose we need to access in order to do this process is on the front passenger side. So if you look underneath the glove compartment, you're going to see this plastic cover. It has 3 tabs, and you could either use your fingers or a screwdriver to press in these tabs in order to remove the cover. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling with this using my fingers, but eventually I do get it off. Now that we have that plastic piece out of the way, we're going to pull back the carpet to access the AC condenser hose. I believe that's what it's called. There it is. As you pull back the carpet, you're going to hear like a little ripping sound. It's just the Velcro that's separating. So don't be alarmed if it sounds like you're ripping something. So once the carpet's back, you can now pull out the hose. It comes out really easily. This is the hose that drains to the outside. We're going to take the hose that came with the smaller can, and we're going to feed it into the AC condenser hose. As you feed it in, you're going to notice that the AC condenser hose has some bends to it. So you're going to have to try and straighten out the AC condenser hose as you're feeding the other hose in. It'll make it a little bit easier to get it in. Just do your best to get the hose as far in as you can. So I now needed to create a seal between these two hoses, and the only thing I could think of was using some duct tape. If anyone else has a suggestion on something that might work better, please feel free to comment below. The amount of duct tape I used probably wasn't sufficient. When I do it again, I plan on using more because, as you will see a little later on, it does get a little leaky. So we'll now start with our smaller can. and feed the whole thing in. Once the small can is empty, you can now move to the larger can. And you might want to already have the lid off and the nozzle off so that you could quickly just attach it to the hose. As you can see, it's starting to drip a little bit at this point. It's probably a good idea to have rags underneath it so that it's not dripping into your carpet. Once the large can is empty, you're going to want to set your timer for 15 minutes. I'm going to pause the video at this point because I need to mention a mistake that I made. Once the large can was empty, I decided to walk away and do something else while I was waiting for the 15 minutes to be up. And for some reason, I decided to separate the can from the hose. Luckily, I placed the hose in a plastic container that I happened to have, so I didn't just leave the hose loose in the car. And when I came back, I noticed that all the liquid had drained out. I know you don't see the can separated from the hose in this picture, but I did separate it, and then when I noticed that a lot of the liquid had drained out, I reattached it. So the next time I do this, when I'm waiting my 15 minutes, I will make sure that that large can is still attached to the hose. This is the point where I'm about to separate the two hoses, and normally this is when you would see all that liquid drain out, but because I had made that mistake, you could see the liquid is already in the container. As you can see, the liquid is not horribly dirty, and that could be because I didn't let it sit the full 15 minutes. I also wanted to mention that I'm not pouring this liquid down the drain. I'm collecting it, and I plan on taking it to a drop-off site where they collect toxic materials. I'm now going to start the AC, and we're going to see what comes out. And much like the liquid before, this one also is not horribly dirty. All you need to do now is put back the hose and push down the carpet. The last step is to put back the plastic cover that goes underneath the glove compartment. There's a tab that fits into a black square hole. So you're going to want to make sure to put that tab in the black hole, and then you could push up the rest of the piece into those 3 clips. Hey, I'm in my car right now. It's been a few days since I did the AC clean out. I have to be totally honest, it still doesn't smell great. The product I used to clean the AC has kind of a minty smell, so now it kind of smells like mint and rat piss. So I'm going to be looking for other solutions. I don't know if it'll get better over time, but for now it still doesn't smell great.